With a generation pickier than ever about where they would like to put their work hours, we as an industry have not only have to be attractive and modern, we also have to live up to what we promise. So we decided that we needed to discuss the topic in a panel debate hosted by no other than Baseload Capital's own COO, Pernilla Wihlborg. And she has with her on stage a woman and a man, two generations, two different roles, with more than 40 years of experience gathered together here. We have Anne Robertson-Tait with us, and we have Jesper Jolma. Please let me welcome them up on stage.
Thank you, Christina. And Jesper, Anne, I'm so happy to be here with you when talking about this very, very important topic. People, talent. And we're just going to kick it right off. Let's look externally. So the talent pool we have in front of us where we're finding all these people. What does it look like? Is it broad enough for what we need? Is it the right people in the pool?
Who should start?
Start with you, Jesper.
I've only been in this industry for a couple of years now, and I don't know what you would say, Anne, but to me it's pretty clear that the industry does have a large pool of talent when it comes to primarily technical skills and knowledge. But at least from my perspective, there's a quite big gap when it comes to primarily, financial and more also marketing in terms of Christina, what she's doing, that type of knowledge. Also when you're studying, for example, in your university and so on, it's pretty clear that a lot of the other industries, they have a lot of focus and a lot of attention, but you never hear the word geothermal when you're studying finance or whatever. What would you say, Anne?
Even in geology, I was talking to some colleagues, some friends over the weekend, and their nephew is doing a geology degree at Syracuse University in New York. Now, Syracuse, New York is not a place where there's a lot of geothermal, but they're not even learning about geothermal there. So we do have a gap in terms of what people are understanding, even as geoscientists and engineers, how those skills can go into the only clean baseload renewable source of energy that we have. So this is a message that's being missed. So I think we do have a problem in getting the word geothermal into the dialogue, but there's a lot of smart people graduating right now who might want to know about it and join the geothermal industry for its incredible environmentally meaningful values.
So what I gather both of you saying a bit is that we have a problem getting our message out to these people that they should be sort of joining us, so attracting them is the problem. And if we were better at that, which markets, you mentioned financials, geology, is there anything else, marketing, but are there more, sectors that we need to reach out to? Who do we need to go into this new decade?
Well, if I mind going first here again, I would really connect to what Kevin was saying earlier. I think we really need to attract a lot of more people from very different backgrounds, but have the right sort of mindset and willingness to engage and take on really big problems. So in essence, if you think about it, I would say it's competing with all the big players that are, basically looking for the best talent, whether it be, big data companies like Google or big financial players, but really going after the people that are very keen to take on a big challenge and work, very hard to do whatever it takes to solve it.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I think that there are people out there who need to know more about geothermal, and I think they would be attracted to it. The question is, are they getting educated well enough at this point? So, and data science absolutely is super important in any technological endeavor, including geothermal. Our fundamentals are geoscientists and engineers to create the projects, but the willingness to become part of the geothermal sector can span a much broader range of expertises, and I think we do need that.
Okay, so let's say we manage to reach out and we attract all these people and we manage to educate them and they start joining us. If we start looking on the inside, what is our business like? What is the sector like? Can we keep them? Are we modern enough in the way that how we work?
I'll jump in and say, no, we're not modern enough in the way we work. We have So, and been in this business for a long time, like Jesper is kind of relatively new to the industry. So he's probably young and ambitious and thinking we have all this great technology. Geothermal is a bit of a low-tech enterprise. That's not to say that there aren't many useful attributes of geothermal that require a lot of technology and a lot of thought. There certainly are. But in the end, we're trying to get heat out of the ground, and it's a fundamentally difficult thing to do, and yet we must do it to save our planet. And geothermal has, this whole spectrum of opportunities to offer. So I think we will attract these people. The more they know about geothermal, the more they will like it. And the ancillary, I would say, technologies that would come in, things like people who are experts in artificial intelligence and machine learning, in optimizing systems, in the engineering sense of optimization. These people will come into geothermal when they realize that it is a bigger player in the industry. But the first message has to be, let them know how great it is and attract them, because young people today coming out of university, they want something that is meaningful. And maybe we'll get to that in the next series of questions, Pernilla, so I'll leave it there.
Yeah, what a cliffhanger, but I need to hear from Jesper. You are more new into this.
Yeah, I just briefly need to fill into that, because I think it's a twofold issue. I mean, I think what you're saying also is basically making, geothermal as an industry, more attractive as such to attract talent. But I also think what you need to do is make sure that, the companies and the employment opportunities are equally interesting. Namely, make sure that people understand that it's a fun business. There are fun opportunities and companies. You get to travel a lot around the world, depending on which company you're at, and you get to take on a lot of sort of big issues early on in your career. So really also make sure that, the actual employment opportunity and company is equally attractive.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good.
And the challenge is put out there to the young. So look, we have a lot of work to do. People like me who've been working in it a long time. Yes, we have a way of doing things. We have a lot of knowledge, but there's more to be done. And we have a vibrant industry. And as Jesper says, it's a fun industry. If you were at the World Geothermal Congress, you know that the social aspect of it was super important there. And each night there was a great event that was sort of, yes, of course we talk technical things. We can't help it. That's how we are. But we also had a damn good time. And I think the general mantra, or sort of the feeling of people in the geothermal industry, is that A, they want to do something meaningful, and B, they want to enjoy it. And I have to say, I've really enjoyed it all this time.
So I realize now that this feels like we're really just scraping on the surface. This is such an important topic, but we will have to cut it here, and we hopefully have a good reason to come back to this over and over again. People is essential for everything we do, and with that we close this section. Thank you so much for joining me in this, and back to you.